So I've had this problem for quite a long time now, and it's that if I wake up later than around 7 a.m., I usually end up doing pretty degenerate shit for a lot of the day. And the reason for that is because the self-improvement schedule I made for myself requires me to get up at about 5:30 a.m. every day, which would require me to sleep at 8:30 p.m. every day, right? So I can get 9 hours of sleep. But the issue is I usually don't go to sleep at 8:30 p.m. I usually go around 11 p.m. because I have dinner with my family at Indian dinner times. You know how most people have dinner at around 5 or 6 p.m.? Well, if you are Indian like me, and you probably relate to this, you probably have dinner at like 9 or 9:30 p.m. 8:30 at the earliest, but that's literally my scheduled bedtime, right? I'm sure a lot of brown people or people who have late dinners in general can relate to this problem. So if we have dinner at around 9 or 9:30 p.m., we'll finish dinner at around 9:30 or 10 p.m. And since it's not good to go to sleep right after eating, it's not healthy for you, it can cause, digestive problems and stuff. It's usually good to wait about an hour to an hour and a half after eating to go to bed. So that basically means I'll go to bed at around 11 p.m. And if I want to wake up at 5:30 a.m. the next day to start my day early, I'll have only 6.5 hours of sleep, which is pretty terrible. I want 9 hours of sleep because it's going to be amazing for my testosterone. And I'll be honest with you here, my family has a tradition that we've done like forever, even before I discovered self-improvement when I was a degenerate. Literally my entire life, after we'd eat dinner, we'd watch a movie and then go to bed. And the mistake that I make often is that I'll eat dinner with my family, and then because I have to wait an hour and a half anyway before I go to bed, I start watching the movie with them, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll probably go to bed in an hour. But then I end up going to bed like 2 or 2.5 hours after eating. So maybe like 11:30 or 12 a.m., which is usually when my family goes to sleep, especially on weekends. Maybe on weekdays it'll be something like 11 or 11:30. But I'll stay for the duration of the movie if we finish the movie, how long my parents play it, because I'm so fucking hooked on the movie. Indian movies are like 2 to 2.5 hours long, so that's why, I get hooked on the movie and it's over, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's like 11:45 p.m. What am I gonna do tomorrow? So this is basically fucking cooked, right? A lot of it is my fault, and a lot of it is the fact that I have dinner so late. So, everything is definitely controllable by me, but I want to find out how to fix this. So I asked some friends, I looked for other creators on the space talking about this, and the only piece of advice I really got was to make dinner for yourself before your parents do, and then go to sleep earlier. But if you're like me, you know very well you can't just go to the fucking kitchen and make dinner for yourself. Your mom will probably smack you. The usual Indian way to eat dinner is that your mom usually will make the food, or maybe your dad, gender roles, whatever, right? But someone will make the food and they'll serve the food to you, and then the entire family will just have the same food together. And I'm sure that's how it is for a lot of you non-Indians too. Like, you just have dinner with your family and you guys all leave at the same time and finish eating around the same time anyway. Like, you can't just bring your plate up to your room with you. That's not some like white reality show shit where you ask your parents, can I be excused? And then you take the plate and then, you don't even eat it anyway, and you just waste all your fucking food. You can't just do that. You can't grab a banana and just leave. Like, what the fuck? So at the time of me making this video right now, I can only really think of 2 possible solutions to this issue. Hopefully in the future, I can figure out a better way to combat this. And if you have a better idea, then comment it down below to help out your boys. But I feel like right now there's only 2 potential solutions to this issue. So the first one's pretty obvious. It's basically trying to get your parents to make dinner earlier. Tell them about the health benefits of eating early, tell them about the bad things of eating late. If you are the type of person to start making preparations for your dinner, like if you're fucking Indian, you're flipping the parathas, or like whatever the hell, right? Whatever you're doing, start those preparations early so that your parents are more convinced to eat dinner earlier too. Or the other solution that you can implement, which is what I'm going to be trying right now because the first one didn't work very well for me, is to change your wake up and sleep time. Chances are you're probably not going to be at home for so much longer, right? Maybe you're in college and you're just going to be at home for a few more weeks, and then you go back to live by yourself. And when you live by yourself, you can wake up at 5:30 and sleep early as much as you want. But obviously that is not being sustainable at home. So at home, just wake up 9 hours after you go to bed. For you high schoolers or people who are stuck at home, I'd highly recommend the first solution a lot more. Convince your parents to try making dinner earlier, start making preparations early, do all that. But if you're in my situation, like I'm going back to college in about 3 weeks, if you're going to live by yourself after just some time, then honestly, you could just suck this up and wake up later. I know it's good for you to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. I know the biological benefits of that, of course. But just for this time, just wake up a little bit later. When you're living by yourself or with friends who don't care when you're eating and when you're sleeping and all this shit, then you can do it as much as you want. And hopefully, anyway, you're not going to be a bum who stays at your parents' house forever. Hopefully, you're trying to make money and you're trying to get rich so you can just fucking have freedom in your life. But right now, it's actually not that big of a deal to wake up later, which is what I've realized. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I would usually end up doing degenerate shit for a lot of the day on days that I woke up around after 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. because I thought my day was ruined. I think as men on self-improvement, we get kind of obsessed with doing all these fucking Chad-like things and choosing pain over comfort. And we actually feel bad when we don't wake up at 5:30 a.m. and when we wake up later. And we feel like we ruined our day because that's how obsessed we are with doing all these like painful, uncomfortable things. But it's actually not that big of a deal. All that matters is that you seize the day for 15 hours and sleep for 9. There's actually not that big of a difference between sleeping at 11 p.m. and waking up at 8 a.m. the next day versus sleeping at 8:30 p.m. and waking up at 5:30 a.m. the next day, right? The second one, you obviously feel more like a man. You feel like a fucking Chad in the morning, You've woken up before sunrise. You're waking up with the fucking rooster. I understand all those benefits, but there's technically no functional issue or functional difference between both. I'm not saying that you shouldn't wake up at 5:30 a.m. Of course, it's amazing for you to wake up early in the morning. But for now, I think it's actually still going to be better if you wake up at 8 a.m. than 5:30 a.m. if you're sleeping at 11 p.m., right? Because if you wake up at 5:30 a.m. now, you're going to have 6.5 hours of sleep. If you wake up at 8 a.m., you have 9 hours of sleep, which is so much better for you. 6.5 is fucking nothing. You're going to suffer. You're going to be tired throughout the day. You might feel like a fucking, Chad in the morning. Like, oh, I woke up early even though I went to sleep late. But then you're going to be tired throughout the day. You're going to be less energized. And because of that, you might be even less productive. If you wake up at 8, at least you can still kind of feel like a Chad because you're still getting the work done just a little bit later throughout the day, and you're going to go to sleep later anyway. So it's the same range of time, the same length of time that you are working, but it's just a little bit later in the day, and you're energized. Don't tank your testosterone just for this feeling like, oh, I'm a Chad. It's honestly kind of like a form of instant gratification in a way. If you want to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every morning, which I highly suggest you do if you're like living by yourself and you don't like face this problem and your parents are okay with making dinner earlier, or your parents are just fucking normal and they make dinner at a normal time, then absolutely wake up at 5:30 a.m. But only if you're sleeping at 8:30 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. at the latest. No exceptions. Your sleep is valuable. Don't ruin it and ruin your testosterone levels just because you want the feeling of waking up at 5:30 a.m. but you don't want to, or you just can't sleep at 8:30 or 9:30 to make that work. Of course, when I go back to college and I'm by myself and I'm with a roommate or whatever, I'm definitely going to be on that 5:30 a.m. grind. Of course, I love being on that grind. I love waking up early. I like going to sleep early and feeling like a disciplined man. Of course, I love that. But just for now, I'm going to try waking up later and seeing how I feel about that and if I might change my mind or not on this video. I'll let you know. This video won't change your life. You will.